Hi, Kate with Kate's Paper Creations here with another video for you today. I've been having fun making the videos for my customers and posting them on YouTube during this time when we cannot meet, and I want to thank all of you who have subscribed to my channel on YouTube. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and if you do not have a demonstrator and would like to order any of the products I use in my videos, just check the comments below. I'll have my contact information there, as I don't have a blog, I just have a YouTube channel. So contact me and I can set you up and we can connect. Thank you so much for watching. Let's get on to the card. So here is a sample of the card we're going to make today, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I made it. It's really pretty. It's got some shimmer there, and this is the copper embossing powder that is being discontinued, and if you want it, now is a good time to pick some up, because it won't be coming back, but it looks lovely on this card. So let me tell you a little bit about what I was doing here with this card today. There's a stamp set called Bokeh Dots that is going out. It's being discontinued. This is the stamp of one of the stamps in the set that has these lovely little circles. It's a really pretty design, but as you can see, it's quite small and it doesn't fill the front of a card. Plus it's going away. So I wanted to come up with some way to imitate this look because I like this background, as you can see in the card that I showed you when we started. So I have made this, and you can tell me if you think it looks very similar. I think it does. It can go in either direction. Get it so you can see it more clearly here. I forget sometimes and hold it at an angle too much. So anyway, there you go. I think it looks very similar. The color I used here today is the Pretty Peacock color. And so that's what I'm going to show you how I did. So let's get started. First of all, I just cut a piece of regular Whisper white cardstock. It is then 4 by 5 1/4, so it's slightly smaller. So when you put your card together, it leaves this border, 1/8 inch border around. And I used circle punches, and I used 4 different sizes: 3/4, 1, 1 1/4, and 1 3/8. And I punched out many circles. And then on the back of each of those circles, here's the circles, just some of them that we're going to be using. I'll lay some out here so you can see them. And I used Tombow has a removable adhesive. I keep this in my drawer. I use it all the time for holding things in place when I'm stamping, when I'm stenciling, whatever. And it just rubs off when you're done, but it holds things in place while you're working. So on the back of each of these circles, I have put a small strip of this removable adhesive on them to hold them in place. And then I've used them before, so they've got color on them. I just randomly put them on the front of the card. So no 2 cards you make are going to be exactly the same. And you can see I have made quite a few circles. You could save these. You could put them in a kit somewhere and save them for future use so that you can make that with different colors. They're just punched out of regular cardstock. And you can put as many or as few on as you want. I want some space in between them. I don't want them to be totally covering. I want some space between. So that looks good. Let's try it. Let's see what it looks like. You want some to overlap. You don't want them all to be, let's make some arrangements here. You don't want them all to be just by themselves. You want some to overlap. It just makes it look a little more realistic. Okay, so I've got my pieces on there. I'm going to get my Pretty Peacock ink pad, and I use these brushes. I bought a set of these brushes for $12 from Amazon, and they work beautifully for this. And I'm just going to ink it up and start putting color on. Whoops, I lost one. Need a little more sticky on that one. It escaped. It's been used before, and I didn't put new tape on it. So I'm just going to keep doing it until I get the coloring I think I want on here. And again, whenever I've been doing this with the brushes, I've said it in the past and I'll say it again, it does not have to have a totally even, consistent color. The shading just makes it look even better in the long run. So I'm going to stop there and I'm going to take these off. And we'll just set them aside. And this can be a lovely background for just about any kind of card. And of course you can choose all different colors. You could even ombre affect it or whatever. Get all these picked up, get them out of the way. There we go. Now there is some residue from that tape, and all you have to do, like I said, is just rub your fingers over it and it will rub right off and it's out of the way. So there is the card so far. Now don't panic, because those white spots aren't going to stay white. We're going to take the brush again and we're going to go over it again and start coloring in some of those spots. And work the brush over it and just keep going until we get the color we want. And you can go darker in some spots and lighter in others. That's kind of part of the look of it, isn't it? Yeah, I'm kind of liking that. I think I've pretty much got it down to the colors I want. So let me bring back in. Here's the one I've done, and here's the sample. Pretty close, I think. Looks pretty good. And so rather than show you an entirely new card, this is what I would use, and then I would either stamp or stamp and die cut some other shapes to put over the front of it. But this is the background that I would use for a card, and it's the one I used for this particular card. And I just took this, stamped this from Dandelion Wishes, and with Versamark ink, and then embossed it with the copper embossing powder, and then attached it to the front of the card, and it's done. So just a little bit of a technique for you today that I thought you might enjoy.